Happy Friday, Year 7. Well done for completing another week of remote learning. Today we are going to look at our descriptive writing lesson for this week. So could you please copy down the title, the date, and the learning objective? And as you can see, we are focusing on our zoom out paragraph. Pause the video and copy those 3 things down. Press play when you've got that completed. Okay, if you're back, that means you have these 3 things copied down and you are ready to complete your do now task. Today I would like you to complete these 5 tasks. I would like you to write 3 fronted adverbials, 3 pieces of colour vocabulary, 3 pieces of sensory vocabulary, 3 verbs to replace run, and 3 verbs to replace sleep. You are more than welcome to look back at your previous notes to help you with these tasks. Pause the video and press play when you have completed your do now. Okay, if you're back, that means you complete the tasks and you are ready to make your purple pen corrections. So here's my answers. You might have put your answers as something different. If you're not sure if your answers are correct, I can check those in the email if you just ask me. If you would like, it might be a good idea to write these down in purple pen anyway, so you have even more things in your book that you can use in your descriptive writing. So I chose the fronted adverbials worriedly, every second, in the distance. Number 2, I chose ruby red, bubblegum pink, emerald green. For sensory vocab, I put dim, silky and rough. For run, I put sprint, dash and gallop. And for 5 and sleep, I put rest, nap and doze. Pause the video and make any corrections that you need to now, please. Okay, if you're back, that means you've made your purple pen corrections and we are ready to move on. So today we are looking at our zoom out paragraph. So this is our chant for zoom out. We say zoom out and then we say mood, weather and items. So let's practice that now. I'm going to say zoom out and then you're going to say mood, weather and items. Say it out loud or just say it in your head. Let's practice. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. Excellent. So you've practiced our chant and this is what the chant links to, our checklist. In our zoom out paragraph, we need to describe the mood, describe the weather using a simile, describe 2 main items and then a character's movement towards one item. So mood, weather and items. So I am going to write a zoom out paragraph based on this image here. It's quite spooky. There's a lot happening. We've got some birds, we've got like fog, there's a really big tall building, it's like a tree. There's like a creepy kind of man here with a top hat. It's very dark. It's like it's been raining. There's a lot to talk about. And this is a table that I'm going to use to help me write my zoom out paragraph. So as you can see on the left here, we have all of the items in our zoom out paragraph checklist. I'm going to write my zoom out paragraph in this table. The reason I'm going to do it in the table is because it will help me remember every step of my paragraph and hopefully I won't miss anything. So in our zoom out paragraph, we're looking at the whole scene. So let me grab my pen. I'm going to write in red. So firstly, I need to describe the mood. So I'm going to say, because I'm talking about the whole scene, I'm going to start with in the distance, comma, in the distance and the mood. I'm going to say maybe like fear or like tension. I like tension. It seems quite tense. In the distance. Actually, I'm going to choose fear instead. Fear. I'm going to say fear covered the street. Can I add any sensory vocab or colour vocab? I can. I could probably say the dim street. Right, there's no light, so it's very dim. So in the distance, fear covered the dim street. I've done my first sentence. Now I need to describe the weather using a simile. I quite like maybe I could talk about the fog, maybe. Or I could talk about like the puddles. I'm gonna write about the or I could talk about like maybe like the fact that there could be like wind. Maybe I could talk about like the wind in like the trees. I'm gonna talk about. I quite like the idea of the fog. Actually, I'm gonna write fog. I'm gonna write overwhelmed. The sky, and I could maybe say like the navy blue sky, or actually I could say like onyx black or like jet black because it looks really dark. Fog overwhelmed the jet black sky, and now I need to use a simile. So I'm going to write like a maybe like a blanket, like a blanket covering a child. I'd put a full stop at the end. Right, so I've described the weather. Now I'm going to describe one item in the scene. So I'm just going to rub out what I scribbled on here earlier on. So, I mean, my character is probably going to be this guy here. So in terms of items, I think I'm going to choose the moon and the trees. So I'm going to start with the moon. That's one of my main... Actually, no, I want to talk about the building instead. The building looks really scary. So I'm going to start with the tree, and then I'm going to describe the building. So describe one main item. Maybe I can describe the like texture of the tree. I mean, it kind of looks like a skeleton. So like the branches kind of look like a skeleton. So I might just put something like a huge tree had skeleton like branches, and then I could maybe add like they like keep cracking like off and falling to the ground. A huge tree had skeleton like branches which constantly, actually I'm not going to write that, I'm going to write which crashed into maybe the puddles. I could say like crashed into the puddles, which crashed into the puddles below. I like that. So I've described one main item, I've done that. Now I'm going to look at the building. Now, I haven't used colour vocabulary or sensory vocabulary in a little while, so maybe I can think about if I can use it to describe the building. It kind of looks like a castle or like a cathedral. I'm gonna write behind the street, my fronted adverbial. I don't know what colour it is, but I could maybe imagine it's like grey. So I could say behind the street maybe I'll say stone grey building. I could say it stood over, or I could say it towered over. I could say it towered, a stone grey building towered over the town, maybe. That could be nice. All right, I've described another main item, and now I'm going to talk about my character, which is this guy here, and I'm going to talk about his movement towards one item. So I'm going to talk about maybe the fact that he's walking towards this cathedral. So maybe I could say that maybe how is he feeling? He seems quite scary. Like he's holding like a cane and like a top hat and like this big coat. So I don't think he would be scared. I think he seems like quite a scary character himself. So like maybe he seems quite like confident. So I'm gonna write one confident man. I could say walked, but we can do better than the verb walked. One confident man. I could say strided. That would be nice. One confident man strided. Or would it be better to say strode? Hopefully someone figured out there that's not the correct verb. Remember, sometimes you don't need to add ed onto the end of a verb for it to make sense. You have to change the verb. One confident man strode towards the cathedral. We'll call it a cathedral. Through the damp, because I want to use another sensory vocab word, the damp street. Excellent. So that is my full paragraph. So let's just read it as if it was a whole paragraph. In the distance, fear covered the dim street. Fog overwhelmed the jet black sky like a blanket covering a child. A huge tree had skeleton-like branches which crashed into the puddles below. Behind the street, a stone-grey building towered over the town. One confident man strode towards the cathedral through the damp street. Actually, I'm going to say through the damp path because we've repeated street a few times. Through the damp pathway, we'll say, and then we'll add my full stop at the end there. And that is my zoom out paragraph complete. So now what I would like you to do is I would like you to copy this table. I would probably say you need about half a page for this. Make sure you have enough room to write your sentences in each of these gaps. Pause the video and copy this table into your exercise books now, please. Okay, if you're back, that means you've got this table copied down. And now it is your turn to write. You are going to complete your table in the exact same way that I have just showed you by describing this image. This image here is inspired by A Midsummer Night's Dreams. So we have the fairy, we have some trees, we have some flowers, a beautiful lake with these like waterfalls, a shining moon, and these are kind of like stars with a lot of colours in here. So you can try and include your sensory vocabulary and your colour vocabulary. You just need to do exactly what I just did with my image in your table, but you're basing it on this image here. Pause the video and complete your table, writing a full zoom out paragraph by describing this image, please. Okay, if you're back, that means you've completed your table, you've got your full zoom out paragraph by describing this image, and you are ready to submit your work. So, as always, pause the video and look at this screen. Remember that you need to write your subject of the email like this. You can send me the work, and then once you have done that, you can X out of the video and continue on with your lessons today. Well done for another week of remote learning. I'm very excited to look at all of your excellent Zoom out paragraphs. They're going to be great.